We live in an age where people crave attention. They want their efforts to be seen, their struggles to be acknowledged, and their successes to be celebrated. But I want to tell you today that the greatest victories are won in the quiet places. The strongest foundations are laid where no one is watching, and the most extraordinary lives are built not in the spotlight, but in the stillness of unwavering dedication. The greatest men and women in history did not rise to greatness by announcing their plans to the world. They worked tirelessly in secret, in the quiet hours when no one was looking. Their success was not built on applause, but on persistence, not on recognition, but on resilience. When you look at the foundations of anything that has stood the test of time, you will not find noise, but effort. You will not find boasting, but sacrifice. The tallest trees in the forest do not shout as they grow. They reach upward inch by inch, day by day, stretching toward the heavens with silent determination. Their roots grow deep into the soil, hidden from sight, but providing the strength needed to withstand the fiercest storms. And so it is with those who commit themselves to the work before them without seeking immediate praise. Too often, people seek validation before they have done the work. They want others to recognize their potential before they have proven it. They want to be known as successful before they have made the sacrifices that success demands. But the truth remains unchanged. Real achievement is never the product of empty words. It is the result of unshaken focus, the kind of effort that does not waver when the world is not watching. Think of the farmer who labors from sunrise to sunset, breaking the hard soil, planting seeds with faith, tending to the field with care, knowing that the harvest will not come immediately. He does not stand in the field shouting about his work. He does not demand that others take notice. He does what needs to be done day after day, trusting that in the right season, his efforts will be rewarded. And when the time comes, the results speak for themselves. No announcement is needed. No grand speeches are required. His fields are full. His crops are plentiful. And all who see the abundance know that a faithful worker has been at his task. It is the same in every area of life. The greatest musicians do not become great in the spotlight. They master their craft in solitude. The finest athletes do not reach excellence in front of the crowd. They push themselves beyond their limits when no one is there to applaud them. The most brilliant minds do not gain wisdom by seeking attention. They devote themselves to study, to thought, to learning, often in silence, while others are distracted by things that do not matter. This world rewards those who make noise, who chase attention, who seek to be seen. But true greatness is never built that way. The strongest foundations are laid where no one is looking, in the hours of hard work that no one praises, in the moments of quiet perseverance when giving up would be easier. Those who understand this truth do not waste time trying to convince others of their worth. They let their work speak for them. Many will look for shortcuts, hoping to gain recognition without effort. They will speak of their plans, announce their ambitions, and chase approval. But when the storms of life come, they will not stand. A house built on sand cannot endure the winds and the rain. But a house built on solid rock with a foundation laid in secret, in diligence, in patience, that house will not fall no matter what comes against it. The road to true success is often lonely. There will be days when it seems as though no one notices the effort, when it feels as if all the work is in vain. But those who keep going, who stay the course, who work as if they are being watched by no one but God Himself, these are the ones who will one day see the reward of their labor. The world may overlook them for a time, but it cannot ignore the fruit of their dedication forever. When the time is right, what has been done in silence will be revealed in glory. What has been built in the shadows will stand in the light. And those who have labored without seeking praise will find that their work speaks louder than any words ever could. When you work without the need for attention, something changes within you. You develop patience, discipline, and a spirit that cannot be shaken. The trials you face in solitude refine you, making you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the day when your work will bear fruit. The world teaches people to seek instant gratification, to demand immediate results, to expect rewards without the journey that leads to them. But the truth remains that anything worth having requires time, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to the process. When a seed is planted, it does not sprout overnight. It remains buried beneath the soil, unseen and unnoticed. while its roots begin to form. There is no applause, no recognition, no evidence of progress to the outside world. But within the soil, something is happening. A transformation is taking place. And when the time is right, that seed will break through the earth and reach toward the sky, a person who learns to work with. There is something powerful about persistence that does not require validation, about effort that is not dependent on praise. Many start the journey with great enthusiasm, but when no one notices their work, when no one acknowledges their struggle, they lose motivation. They begin to question if their efforts matter. But the ones who endure, the ones who continue despite being unseen, are the ones who truly grow. They become unshaken by circumstances, unmoved by setbacks, and unstoppable in their pursuit of excellence. Silence builds endurance. When no one is watching, you learn to push through the difficult days. You learn to keep going even when you feel like quitting. You learn to discipline yourself in ways that others cannot, because you are not working for immediate rewards, but for something great. The distractions that pull so many people away from their goals lose their power over you, because your focus is not on temporary recognition, but on lasting success. You begin to understand that the journey itself is shaping you, that the struggle is refining you, that the process is as important as the result. The world does not see the hours of effort put in behind closed doors, the sacrifices made when no one is there to witness. It does not see the late nights, the early mornings, the battles fought in silence. But those moments are where true strength is built. A person who can remain faithful to their work without needing approval from others is a person who cannot be stopped. They are not swayed by opinions, not discouraged by delays, not dependent on anyone to keep them moving forward. Their strength comes from within, from a resolve that does not waver, from a determination that cannot be broken. When you learn to work in silence, you also learn the value of patience. The world rushes to show its progress, to display its achievements, to prove its worth. But those who understand the power of quiet perseverance do not rush. They know that great things take time, that true success is built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. They are willing to wait, willing to endure, willing to trust the process. And in that waiting, they grow stronger. In that patience, they become wiser. In that silence, they are transformed. It is easy to work when people are watching, when recognition is guaranteed, when applause is expected. But real character is revealed in the moments when no one is there to see. The true test of a person's dedication is not how they perform in the spotlight, but how they labor in the shadow. If they can remain faithful in the unseen moments, if they can continue with excellence even when there is no reward in sight, then they are being prepared for something far greater than they can imagine. They are being shaped into someone who does not depend on circumstances, who does not need constant encouragement, who does not seek approval from others. They become someone who works because they are committed to the work itself, because they believe in the value of the process, because they understand that every great thing begins in silence before it is revealed to the world when others seek shortcuts. Those who work in silence stay on the right path. When others look for quick results, they remain steady. When others give up because success does not come fast enough, they keep going. And because they refuse to be swayed by the noise of the world, because they are not working for temporary recognition, they build something that will last. They lay a foundation that will not crumble, establish a legacy that will not fade, and create something that will stand the test of time. A tree does not need to announce its fruit. In due season, it will be seen. The world does not need to hear about your struggles. It needs to see the results of your labor. Let your work be your testimony, and let the excellence of your efforts declare your worth. Too often, people spend more time talking about their plans than working on them. They want to be acknowledged before they have accomplished anything. They want to be celebrated before they have made any real progress. They want the rewards before they have sown the seeds. But true success does not come from words. It comes from action. It does not come from seeking recognition. It comes from persistent, quiet effort that eventually speaks for itself. When a builder lays the foundation of a house, he does not call an audience to admire the bricks. He does not pause after each step to seek approval. He keeps working because he knows that when the structure is complete, when the walls rise, when the roof is set in place, then all who pass by will see what has been accomplished. A person who constantly speaks of what they will do, but never puts in the work, will be remembered for empty promises. But the one who remains silent and labors with diligence will leave behind something far greater than words. Results do not need an explanation. When something has been built with excellence, when a task has been completed with dedication, when a life has been lived with purpose, the evidence is undeniable. The world does not need more voices announcing what they intend to do. It needs more hands willing to do the work. There is something powerful about a person who does not feel the need to prove themselves through words, who does not seek validation through constant explanations, who allows the quality of their work to be the only thing that speaks on their behalf. Such a person does not need to chase attention, because attention will come when the work is done. They do not need to demand respect, because respect is earned when results cannot be denied. They do not need to convince others of their worth, because the evidence of their efforts will speak louder than anything they could say. History remembers those who acted, not those who talked. The greatest leaders, the most influential minds, the most successful builders of industry and innovation were not those who wasted time seeking approval before taking action. They let their dedication be their voice. They understood that the best way to prove their abilities was not through endless discussion, but through silent, relentless work. And when the results came, when the harvest arrived, when the fruits of their labor were finally seen, there was no need for grand announcements. Their work had already said everything that needed to be said. Many people make the mistake of seeking recognition before they have built something worth recognizing. They desire praise before they have put in the effort. But the ones who truly succeed are those who understand that their focus must be on the work itself, not on the approval of others. They do not waste time looking around to see who is watching. They do not slow down to make sure they are being noticed. They do not hesitate because no one is applauded. They keep going, knowing that in time, the results will speak for them. A musician does not need to tell the world that they are great. Their music will reveal it. An athlete does not need to declare their strength. Their performance will prove it. A craftsman does not need to explain their skill. Their work will display it. The same is true in every area of life. Those who work in silence, those who pour themselves into their craft, those who remain committed when no one is watching, are the ones who will stand out when the results are finally revealed. And when that time comes, they will not have to say a word, because the excellence of their efforts will say it all. There is great freedom in understanding this truth. When you learn to trust that your work will speak for you, you no longer feel the need to seek approval. You are no longer distracted by the opinions of others. You are no longer concerned with proving yourself through words, because you know that when the work is done, the results will say everything that needs to be said. You become focused, determined, and unshaken by whether or not anyone notices your efforts today, because you know that in the right time, what you have built in silence will be seen. The ones who chase recognition will always be running, always seeking, always craving approval that never fully satisfies. But the ones who focus on the work, who put their energy into becoming excellent rather than proving their worth, will find that recognition follows them. They do not have to chase it. It comes to them when the results of their labor cannot be ignored. And when that happens, they do not need to explain. They do not need to announce. They do not need to justify, because the truth will be undeniable. What they have built, what they have accomplished, what they have created will be proof enough. Many people seek recognition from the world, but the greatest recognition comes from above. When you labor with honesty, integrity, and faith, even when no one acknowledges you, heaven takes notice. The reward of a faithful worker is not in the applause of men, but in the favor of God. There is a temptation in this world to measure success by human standards, to seek approval from others, to base one's worth on how much recognition one receives. But true worth is not found in the opinions of people. It is found in the quiet obedience to what is right. Many work hard only when someone is watching, only when there is a promise of reward, only when they believe they will be praised. But the real test of character is found in those who labor faithfully, even when there is no one to see, no one to reward, no one to applaud. They work not because they seek human approval, but because they know that their efforts are seen by the one who matters most. The world is full of people who chase after recognition, who strive to be noticed, who seek to prove themselves through the validation of others. They believe that their value is determined by how many people admire them, how many awards they receive, how much attention they can attract. But all of these things are fleeting. The applause of man fades, the admiration of people is temporary, and the approval of the world is never enough. No matter how much recognition a person receives, it will never fully satisfy. There will always be a need for more, a hunger for greater validation, a desire for a higher level of approval. It is an endless pursuit, a race that never ends, a burden that never lifts, but there is another way. There is a way of peace, a way of purpose, a way of fulfillment that does not depend on the shifting opinions of people. It is the way of the faithful worker, the one who does not seek human praise but labors with integrity, knowing that every effort, every sacrifice, every moment of dedication is seen by the one who rewards in ways the world can. When a person works with this understanding, they are no longer concerned with whether or not others notice. They are no longer moved by the ups and downs of human recognition. They are no longer dependent on the approval of man. Instead, they find joy in the work itself, in the knowledge that their labor is meaningful, that their diligence has purpose, that their faithfulness is not in vain. There is great freedom in working this way. When a person is no longer controlled by the opinions of others, they become unstoppable. They are not discouraged when their efforts go unnoticed. They are not frustrated when their work is not acknowledged. They are not shaken when their sacrifices are overlooked. They know that the one who truly sees, the one who truly rewards, is always watching, and that is enough. Their confidence is not in worldly recognition, but in the certainty that what is done with honesty and integrity will always bear fruit in the right time. They do not need to announce their work. They do not need to demand attention. They do not need to seek applause, because they understand that their labor has eternal value. And nothing done with faithfulness is ever wasted. The greatest examples of this truth can be found in those who have left behind legacies that outlasted their own lifetimes. The people who have made the most significant impact were not always the ones who sought attention for themselves. They were the ones who worked diligently, humbly, faithfully, often in obscurity, often without recognition. Yet their work endured, their influence grew, their contributions became undeniable. And when the time came, it was clear that their efforts had never been in vain. The same is true for anyone who commits themselves to working with integrity, who chooses diligence over recognition, who values faithfulness over fame. A person who works for human praise will always be at the mercy of human approval. They will always be seeking, always striving, always longing for something that never fully satisfies. But the one who works with the understanding that their efforts are seen by God alone is free from this burden. They are free to give their best, free to pursue excellence, free to stay committed even when no one else acknowledges their work. And in that freedom, they find strength, they find endurance. They find a peace that is unshaken by circumstances, unshaken by opinions, unshaken by whether or not the world notices. Because they know that even if no one on earth acknowledges their efforts, heaven does. When a person labors with this mindset, they no longer waste energy seeking validation from others. They are not distracted by trying to prove themselves. They do not need to convince others of their worth. Instead, they focus entirely on the work itself, on doing it well, on doing it with excellence, on doing it with the kind of commitment that cannot be shaken. And because their focus is on the work and not on the recognition, their work becomes stronger, their efforts become more meaningful, their impact becomes greater. The truth is that nothing done with integrity, nothing done with honesty, nothing done with faithfulness is ever wasted. Even if no one on earth acknowledges it, even if it goes unseen by those around, even if it is overlooked by the world, it is never overlooked by the one who truly sees. And in the right time, in the right way, the reward will come. Not always in the way the world expects, not always in the form of human recognition, but in ways that are deeper, richer, more lasting. Because the reward of a faithful worker is not in the fleeting applause of people, but in the knowledge that their work has been done with excellence, with purpose, with integrity, and that it has been seen by the one whose approval matters most. My friends, Do not be discouraged if no one sees the effort you are putting in today. Do not seek approval from the crowd. Instead, plant your seeds in silence, nurture them with diligence, and in due time the harvest will come. Work hard in silence and let your success make the noise. May you walk with strength, work with purpose, and trust in the one who sees all things. Amen.